In the deep heart of the Eldenwood Forest, where fog hung like whispered secrets and light barely touched the forest floor, lived a quiet man named Rowan. He wasn't a knight nor a mage. He didn't live in a castle or a town. He lived in a small cottage made of stone and moss, where he grew herbs, mended wounds, and spoke to animals more than people. Rowan liked it that way. But one stormy morning, as he was collecting mushrooms near the Misty Creek, he heard something between a growl and a whimper. Cautiously, he pushed past ferns and branches until he found it, a creature unlike any he'd seen before. It looked like a fox, but taller and sleeker, with deep purple eyes and silver fur that shimmered even in the rain. One of its legs was wounded and blood matted its side. It snarled weakly at him. Rowan crouched low, murmuring softly, "I won't hurt you." The creature watched him, its eyes fierce but fading. Very slowly, Rowan offered a piece of dried meat. After a long moment, it snatched the food and allowed him close. He wrapped the leg with linen, cleaned the wound, and carried the creature back to his cottage, whispering to it like it was an old friend. Days passed. The creature, which he simply called Silver, began to heal. It still didn't trust him fully, but it stopped baring its teeth when he entered the room. It accepted food from his hand, allowed him to stroke its fur, and even curled beside the fire as he read aloud from his old storybooks. Rowan didn't know what Silver was, only that it wasn't natural, not entirely. There was intelligence in its gaze. Sometimes, it stared at the moon like it remembered another life. But Rowan didn't ask. He never did. One morning, Silver was gone. No blood, no broken door. Just a shimmer of silver fur on the windowsill, and paw prints fading into the woods. Rowan sighed. Goodbye, then. He returned to his quiet days, not expecting anything more. But the forest wasn't as silent. Birds returned in flocks. Deer wandered closer. The trees seemed greener, the air lighter. Then, a week later, royal banners were seen near the tree-line. And not long after, soldiers rode to his door. He thought they'd made a mistake. "Rowan of Eldenwood?" the lead knight asked. "Yes." Rowan blinked, puzzled. "You are summoned by the queen herself, for a debt that must be honored." What?" Before he could protest, they escorted him through the forest, over the hills, and into the shining city he had not seen since he was a boy. There, on a throne of crystal and moonstone, sat Queen Elira, regal, serene, and impossibly beautiful. Beside her, curled like a cat, was Silver. Only now Rowan saw it clearly. Silver had wings folded at her sides, a faint glow around her. She was not just an animal. She was a moon fawn, a sacred, magical guardian long thought to be extinct. And this one was the queen's bonded companion. "You healed her," Queen Elira said, stepping down. "You cared for her when she was most vulnerable. No one else could have touched her and lived." Rowan swallowed. "I didn't know. I thought she was just hurt." The queen smiled. "Sometimes the purest kindness comes from those who ask for nothing." She gestured, and the moon fawn padded over to Rowan, nuzzling his hand like a friend reunited. Queen Elira continued, "For your compassion, I offer you a place in the royal court as a healer. Or, if you prefer, I will grant you land, gold, anything you ask." Rowan looked down at Silver, then up at the queen. "I ask only to keep visiting her." A silence fell, broken by her laughter, soft and surprised. "Then visit as often as you like, kind healer of the woods." Rowan returned home the next day, back to his mossy cottage and quiet forest. But every now and then, under a full moon, a silver shadow would slip through the trees and curl beside his fire again. And sometimes Rowan would look up from his book and smile. "Welcome back, your majesty."